Hi, my name is Ronnie Doss, and I live in San Diego, California. I'm interested in the environment and green policy, so I set out to explore what San Diego had to offer by meeting with local businesses, industries, government agencies, and nonprofit organizations as we showcase who's making a difference in our community by educating, implementing, creating, or currently using green practices and sustainable solutions. So sit back, relax, and welcome to How Can I Help? Energy is important for most of our modern-day conveniences in San Diego. I was interested in learning about a renewable energy source literally blowing in the wind. Let's see how we can put fresh air to work as we get blown away with wind energy. I floated on in to La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California to meet with some real fans of the wind industry and to see what ideas are blowing around at the American Wind Energy Association's Fall Symposium. I'm with Peter Kelley, Vice President of Public Affairs at AWEA, and we're here in beautiful Carlsbad, California, La Costa Resort and Spa. And could you tell us a little bit about what AWEA is and what you guys are trying to get out of the Fall Symposium?
Sure. Well, thanks. American Wind Energy Association is here because California has a huge wind industry and was actually the birthplace of wind energy in the world about 30 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And now California's got a standard to get 33% of all its electricity from renewable sources like wind and other sources, solar, geothermal, and so on. So the leaders of the industry, the thought leaders, are here to talk about where the industry's headed. They're talking about how to get us the opportunity to build a lot more wind power in this country, get up to 20% of all the electricity in America.
Oh, wow.
And that's a level we just hit this year in Iowa. We're now making 20% of all the electricity in Iowa and
Nice.
about 9% on the grid in Texas. And so a lot of people don't know wind's gotten so big, and that's part of our message here. A lot of people in California know wind turbines from the early installations that are in Palm Springs and Tehachapi and Altamont. Those turbines have now been replaced by turbines that are 30 times as powerful.
Oh,
Those
wow.
little 100 kilowatt turbines that you see spinning along as you drive along through Palm Springs, those are now being replaced by 3 megawatt turbines like the big ones that you now see. And those are so much more efficient, they brought the cost way down. So wind energy now competes on cost with all other sources, including the incentives that all forms of energy receive. And of course, we also have the advantages that we use no fuel, so you know exactly what it's going to cost for the next 20 to 30 years. You're not subject to price spikes. We use practically no water, unlike other forms of energy which use a lot of water, and the West is in a drought right now and will be for a long time.
Yeah.
So we've got a huge case to make, and we want to make sure people realize this is the new wind energy industry and the one that is currently manufacturing the future of energy here in America.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like you guys have gotten through so much in the last 30 years that just the education and outreach of the new programs and the new projects seems like it could be a big factor in the wind industry.
Yeah, a lot of people view wind as an opportunity for a career now, and also as a chance to lock in low rates on their electric bills. So anybody can do the latter by finding out if their local utility sells wind energy and signing up for that, or signing up through a third party that sells wind energy, so that you can basically say, I'm powering my house with wind. If you drive an electric car or a plug-in hybrid, you can drive on winds now.
Oh, wow.
But other people actually want to get involved as a career, and we heard today from Steve Wozniak, the founder of Apple Computer with Steve Jobs. And Wozniak said, do your homework, learn your math, become a good engineer, because we need more people inventing new ways to make energy in this country. Good news about wind is it's established technology, it's working on a huge scale, and we're actually ahead of schedule to make 20% of all the electricity in America within a few more years.
Could you explain a little bit more about the job opportunities that have arrived now that this technology has been moving forward?
Well, the people gathered here in Carlsbad are representing all facets of the wind energy industry. So you've got the people who are inventing it, designing it, engineering it. You've got the people who are manufacturing these big components, the blades, the wind turbines, the gearboxes. You've got people here who maintain them. And I met yesterday a guy who represents a company that sends people up on ropes mostly rock climbers, people who like to go climbing, are now being hired by the wind industry to go up on ropes and maintain these blades and maintain these turbines. Because it's a high altitude, that is, these things go up almost 500 feet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's also high voltage, so you need people who are good at electricity and can handle high voltage. And so there's a whole lot of different careers now people are training for to get them installed, to build them, and then to maintain them and keep them running for the next 20 to 30 years.
Oh, wow. So you would say the industry is definitely expanding. It hasn't hit its peak yet.
It hasn't. We now employ about 75,000 people in the U.S., and once we make 20% of the nation's power, we're going to be employing 500,000 people. So that growth to 500,000 jobs will happen in the next 15 to 20 years. And what we're looking for is simply for Congress to send a signal that we want to keep this wind industry here in the U.S., keep those manufacturing jobs, keep building wind turbines to make clean power. And we'll see. It's a tough Congress to get much done in, but we're going to make our case.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you guys make a good case. This seems like a great renewable energy source that will help out the city of San Diego and the country. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
When people see a wind turbine going up near their community, is they're concerned about where is that power going to go, and we think in terms that we're going to ship it to another state somebody else is going to benefit from that power. Mm-hmm. But the electrical grid is like it's like a water system where the water pumps are keeping pressure on the system.
Oh, okay.
And every time you open a faucet, you take pressure off from that system.
Oh,
so in reality, a wind turbine is producing electricity for whoever is in that local area and using electricity.
Okay.
And a lot of the utilities will, they'll purchase wind, but it's going on the grid in Southern California.
Yeah.
And let's say it's being taken off the grid in Northern California, but that wind energy doesn't travel all the way to Northern California.
Yeah.
It's just pushing the electrical grid pressure up.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So if you think of the grid as being a water system, that's probably the best analogy that you can make. So we don't really produce wind energy and send it somewhere else. We're going to use it where we are right now.
Oh, okay. So it creates more of a diverse portfolio for your local utility to use.
Right, and most states, including California, have renewable portfolio standards, right? Where the laws of that state mandate that the utilities must produce a certain part of their load from renewables. So, and I think California now is 33%.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So it's a pretty high portion of the power has to be made from renewable energy.
Okay, so is there, basically are we waiting for the policy that changes the grid to accept more wind power, or is there something people can do to be more proactive in requesting or asking for wind power as an alternative?
Demand drives change.
Okay.
So if a utility's customer was wanting green energy, they want to buy just green energy, most utilities now will have a program that you can choose to say that your energy source is going to be green.
Oh, wow.
Right? And what that's doing is that's helping the utilities create demand so that they can actually bring in more green power onto their system.
Wow, so actual residents and customers could go out there and instead of, having to go with all the politics or anything like that, they could go straight to their utility and be like, I'm a customer and I would like green power.
Right. And I would say that the utilities want to hear from their customers and what type of energy sources can they do. There'll always be a need for conventional generation to maintain the grid at a certain load to meet demands. But as customers demand more out of green energy, that's going to drive these new technologies and allow the utilities to, enact policies that change to a greener
Okay,
resource.
so with that demand, it kind of gives us those energy choices as being viable and available.
Correct.
And the actual grid and utility companies to be like, oh, okay, that's something we need to pursue.
Sure, yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again for your
bet.
time. I
Very
really
welcome.
appreciate it, and great work out there. I hope we could get you a couple of great employees from San Diego. If you do get interested and you do want to start helping out with this sustainable, renewable source of energy, is there any consumer tells or like consumer products where you would know that they use wind energy?
Yeah, traditionally the wind energy industry is divided a little bit on that score. The consumer products fall into what they term small or community wind or distributed wind energy.
Okay.
The industry that I've been describing is largely what we call the utility scale wind industry. They're different. They're very different sectors. But the small or distributed wind energy industry has also continued to grow through the downturn, continues to have the same kinds of impacts on a slightly smaller scale on manufacturing. So the first thing you can do is, if you live on a large enough piece of land,
Yeah.
you can think about buying a small wind turbine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're available from the same kind, many of the same kinds of people that sell other types of renewable energy hardware. But there's a brand new way that consumers can take advantage or help the wind industry out, and that's Wind has just announced something called the Wind Made label. So the products are now very soon going to start showing up. It's like if you go to certain places that sell coffee and it has an emblem on it that says it's fair traded.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be an emblem on many labels of many products that go to the trouble of buying wind from generators or subsidizing wind in some way, paying a little bit extra on their utility bills, so the utility company will buy wind instead of buying coal.
Oh, okay.
And if you look for that label, you can contribute to the wind industry by looking for that label and buying those products.
Wow, so not only is it showing the production responsibility, but it's also opening up that accessibility for consumers to be involved and ask for that demand.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's really important that consumers start understanding the impacts of wind and supporting it.
The American Wind Energy Association offered an interesting energy solution, literally blowing in the wind. Now I was excited to see the innovative energy ideas and careers provided with Upwind Solutions. I'm with Manuel Quintero, Senior Human Resource Manager of Upwind Solutions. So what is some of the career opportunities that are available here at Upwind Solutions?
Well, Upwind Solutions is actually a great employer. We really take care of our employees, and our main philosophy in the company is providing a higher standard of service in everything that we do, whether it be quality, safety, taking care of customer turbines from the operations and maintenance perspective, and also from the blade inspection perspective. With that being said, we actually hire a vast array of employees, everything from the administrative level to technicians that are on the operations and maintenance side, major maintenance, field services, and blade repair. So those are some of the opportunities that we have. Within that umbrella, we also hire field engineers, which is a really exciting role.
Oh, really?
Not only are they helping to come up with troubleshooting problems, but they're actually hands-on and they're working out in the field. It's very innovative, and it's a very rewarding career. We provide a really strong benefit program with 100% PPO, medical, dental, vision for our employees, an employer match of 4% on 401k, 3 weeks of PTO, and 10 paid holidays. So it's a really great benefit program for our employees.
Wow. Okay. And so what kind of college students, for interested college students or recent graduates, what kind of degrees or skills are you looking for?
Well, in this industry, we're actually looking for people that have any type of science-based positions, science-based degrees, such as engineering, anything in the sciences. We also look for people that have project management, business management, leadership. We hire finance, just all disciplines. If you think of any company that's hiring every position from A to Z, that's exactly what we would do at Upwind Solutions with respect to hiring all of those positions internally. And the cool thing is that many of our positions are not just desk-based jobs. You're actually out in the field, you're hands-on, and you're working with communities to help make a difference in green technology and renewable energy.
These are some great jobs that you guys are offering. Is Upwind Solutions expanding opportunities?
Yes, we are. Actually, within the next couple of years, we plan on adding over 200 plus technician positions in field operations, project management, operations and maintenance technicians, major maintenance, commissioning technicians. All of these are exciting opportunities, so we're definitely going to be looking at doubling our company within the next couple of years.
Oh, wow. So some of the people that are watching right now could eventually be field technicians for Upwind Solutions.
Absolutely. And the website is upwindsolutions.com under the careers page where you can apply.
What was your experience with a career here at Upwind Solutions?
Well, my experience is interesting. You know, I come with a varied background in quality and management experience, no wind experience, and I found that's quite typical with, you know, a new industry like wind. It kind of takes people from other industries that have skills that can translate, right? And so what we found is we've kind of come up with this model where technicians come in, we train them, and they kind of cut their teeth, so to speak, in the traveling tech positions, and they kind of get to see different areas of the states. Actually, you know, they go and work on different parts, and we have permanent sites where they can then apply if they kind of like working at that wind farm, and then they can move there and become permanent after, you know, they spend a couple years in the field traveling. So it's a neat promotional type roadmap, you know, that we follow. So.
Wow, and you get to go
With
see the
opportunity,
country.
sure, absolutely. Yeah, different opportunities, and you know, I started in the field traveling exclusively for the first year, and for the last couple years, you know, I've learned enough and started managing the projects. So in my position now, I oversee all the projects and help plan them for their success.
Well, and now as a project manager, what are the skills that you're looking for in some of these students or some of these, you know, potential candidates?
Yeah, well, you know, the desire to travel is a must, you know, because travel, a lot of challenges there. Being away from home is one of the biggest challenges, you know.
Okay.
So someone who's kind of adventurous and wants to go out and kind of pave their own way, you know. Learning new skills, likes to work at heights. Can't be afraid of heights, you know.
Makes sense.
It's a physical job, you know, climbing 300-foot towers daily, sometimes up to 3 times a day, you know, can be challenging for a lot of people. A lot of the newer turbines have assisted lift, you know, elevators and things, but you can't always rely on that on every single site. So, you know, relatively good physical conditioning. But yeah, that's just, you know, that's about it. You know, and good look for good people, you know, just good people who you know, like to put in a good day's, you know, effort. So
Great. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people could get behind that.
sure.
I'm with Justin Myshak, Senior Logistic Manager here at Upwind Solutions, and I was just wondering if you could just give me a brief overview of the operations on your end.
Sure. Operations in general is just everything that keeps a wind site going. Really, it's everything from the people to the equipment to the tools, PPE, which is any kind of safety equipment and stuff like that. In general, it's just whatever keeps the turbines going, keep them spinning, so to speak. It requires a lot of manpower, it requires a lot of equipment, and a lot of hours. They break sometimes more than you think they would, but it's a new technology, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's in general operations.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Senior Logistics Manager, you are coordinating every person, every, you know, piece of equipment, and you're trying to get those all out there.
Yeah, so we have to coordinate, obviously, our technicians, our tools, our trucks, and any kind of gear that's required.
Wow. So then what kind of people are you looking for in your division right now?
What we're looking for mainly is experienced people, and in wind, it's sometimes hard to come by.
Okay.
Just in general, it's a new industry, right? So it's hard to find people. Everyone's looking for the same people.
Oh, okay.
But we're looking for electricians, skilled mechanics, and anyone with major construction experience.
And since you said it's a pretty new industry, then these are pretty, and you're all going from the same pool, then these are pretty in demand for students to try and pick these careers.
Yeah, in general, they are in demand. A lot of companies are shooting for the same people. So it's a pretty competitive career right now.
Oh, great. And then what's your experience been like at Upwind Solutions? Why would you tell people go with Upwind?
Upwind, honestly, I've been with it since day one, and it's been the best company I ever worked for.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah. What are some of the reasons, I mean?
It's people oriented. I'll say that, you know, you're treated like a person as opposed to a number, and it's really been the people. It's been great people to work with.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm with Jason Shelby, General Manager of Field Services for Upwind Solutions, and thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking me.
Absolutely. And so can you explain a little bit about what Upwind Solutions' role in the wind energy industry is?
Sure, absolutely. Upwind Solutions is a full turnkey service provider for wind turbine operations. We work with many of the asset owners as well as the OEMs, which is the original equipment manufacturer for these wind turbines. And we have two different types of approaches. We have a approach where we actually look to secure long-term contracts with asset owners, which we call O&M contracts, operations and maintenance contracts, where we'll provide a length of services to these sites as a supplemental manpower to ensure that the turbines are operating and being maintained and running at all times.
Oh, okay.
And so then that's one segment of it, which is considered the O&M segment, and then there's also the field services segment, which is where I'm the general manager of course, and underneath that there's three sub-segments, okay, which are blade services, which is we've got a team of composite technicians which would go out and service and maintain wind blades. We can perform those maintenances and or repairs down tower as well as up tower using forms of suspended access platforms, where we would rig up to the turbine and perform blade repairs from a suspended platform. And then we've also got a rope access team which is able to do inspections as well as minor repairs up tower on the blades hanging from ropes.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so pretty exciting. And so that's the blade portion of it. Then you've also got another portion of the field services, which is our turbine services, where we'll do anything from retrofits to maintenances, as well as end of warranty inspections. The turbines come with a warranty, and prior to inspections, the asset owners want to ensure that the turbines are in good operating condition prior to that warranty expiring. So what we'll do is come out and perform inspections on gearboxes, blades, things of that nature prior to warranty, provide them a report, so then that way they could have a conversation with the OEM if there was something they wanted to address as far as a warranty item goes. Okay. And then the last segment for field services would be the what we call major maintenance, MMS, Major Maintenance Solutions, which is where it's large correctives where we may do a gearbox change out for a gearbox failure or a blade change out due to a blade failure. And so those are the three segments that make up field services, and that's really field services in a nutshell.
Oh, wow.
And then one other segment too that I forgot to mention is that we're actually also looking to build out a parts division, which is recently underway, and we're doing the initial bid out here in our San Diego, California location, with plans for moving that to Kansas City to have more of a Midwest approach based on, from a geographical standpoint, it makes a lot of sense to have it right there in the Midwest. So,
what was the catalyst behind Upwind Solutions fulfilling this niche in the industry?
So years ago, I would say approximately 3 years ago, the founder of our company, Bo Teestead, was in the industry and was working for one of the existing OEMs, one of the larger OEMs today, and had a vision that, working on the one side, that he saw this vision that these things were going to be needing to be serviced. Okay. And there wasn't a whole lot at the time focus on the service of these turbines, post-warranty, even in warranty for that matter, but post-warranty specifically. So he carefully hand-selected some folks to start up Upwind Solutions, and so the focus and the goal was to be able to provide a full turnkey, service solution to these folks out there that were in desperate need of having their wind farms and wind turbines maintained and held in operating condition. So that was the niche, and it really went from the kind of more of the turbine service type thing, and it's now, as I mentioned, expanded into blade services, and into warranty inspections, now parts. So what started as a kind of a niche idea has really grown into like I said, a full turnkey solution for those people out there looking for the services on wind turbines.
Yeah, now with this new parts division, you guys are really going into the full vertical integration of your specialized field.
Yeah, the goal is to be, the one-stop shop. You know, before when we got into the industry, we had people coming and asking us, to do this service, and then of course, can you do this? Can you do that?
Yeah.
And so over time, we've been able to check those boxes along the way, and one of the last box, I guess you would say, one of the bigger boxes that was to the parts portion of it. It got to we could do the service. And a lot of times it may be, we may be waiting on a part, or the fact that we just couldn't get it. And so, so now we want to be able to offer the most seamless and easiest option for someone to come to us in need of help. And that missing piece we felt was adding the parts portion of it.
Upwind Solutions sure is a higher standard of service. If you can't get a wind turbine, you could still take some sustainable steps in energy efficiency with this Green Yourself tip. A lot of us have these heaters running now that it's a little bit colder, but by turning it down about 3 to 5 degrees, we could save 20% on our electricity bills. And the end of winter, we're gonna have a lot of time that we could just turn this thing off so that the burner's not going. So I'm gonna show you how to properly turn this thing off. There are 4 major things to look at in your heater. There's this knob right here. This is gonna be your temperature control. So like I said, if you turn it down just maybe 3 degrees, you can see it went down. It's less heat, but it's going to get you about 20% energy savings, which is about 3 to 5 degrees difference. You have this main switch. This is going to be on, pilot, and off. This is your pilot. You could hit this when you're turning it on. When you hit pilot and you turn this, that turns on the burner. Now, because it's the end of the winter, you want to turn this off safely. So first, make sure everything is clear. You don't want to be in any kind of harm, hurt yourself. Kids probably shouldn't do this. So go from the on switch. It's going to go over once. This is the pilot one. And as you can notice, it's still on right now. So you can't just leave it like this. Otherwise, you will have leaking gas. You could have a whole bunch of problems. And what you want to do is take it and go one more switch over. And you might have to push it in like I did. Push it in and push over. And that will get you to your off position safely. If it's on this, you could hear the gas going, and that's not good at all. So be sure to be safe. On, pilot, off. The only way to turn it off is to completely have it on off. It's a Green Yourself tip for this winter. Stay cool, San Diego. With Wind Energy Solutions, we build a better San Diego. So breathe easy with Wind Energy Sustainable Solutions, and always remember to increase your energy efficiency. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you next time, Eco Diego fans.